What if you are an artist and you don't know it? Welcome to a Better Philosophy Towards Art podcast. I'm your host Tushar, and in this bonus episode, I shall be sharing my journey about learning woodcut art and my experiences in understanding this art form. Although I was not exposed to printmaking and woodcut art about 2 years ago, when I learnt it through my mentor and teacher, Jyotirmoy Dalapati, I instantly took to it. And I took to it because of the challenging art form that it was. My journey as an artist didn't begin with this medium, but it has definitely defined my ability to create art. Let me explain the process of woodcut printing for those of you who do not know about it. It is essentially drawing an image on a thin plate of MDF and carving out that image to print. We apply ink on the image after carving out the image with tools, and we take a print. We can take more than one editions depending on how many prints we want to take. Woodcut is a challenging medium because it is difficult to carve accurately, and most times the image does not turn out as we imagine it to be. This is where many people get frustrated with this process and tend to stick with other mediums where the outcome is more predictable and the process is smoother. I have personally taken to this medium because it takes more time to make any work of art. It takes maybe 3 or 4 days of carving for a small work and up to 3 weeks of carving for a very big work. After carving, there is the process of applying paint and printing, which is done by hand using a spoon. We call the process spooning, and this also is very effort intensive to get the color on the print evenly in all the editions. So it takes a certain amount of discipline and focus to get every artwork in order the way you visualize it. I'm placing this bonus episode after I speak about accepting art and recreating art, because very often we find it difficult to accept something that we have created. We are stuck in an idea of being perfect about it. We are stuck in the idea of having it exactly as we visualized. And when that does not happen, we do not want to take any ownership of what we have done. However, in this process, I have learned that exactly the opposite of what we want happens very naturally. And the better you accept that fact, the better you're able to make more art, the better you're able to make more prints, take more editions, and move ahead as a printmaker. not taking the process personally is the best way to accept anything. That it's not just going to happen to you, it's going to happen to anyone who attempts making a print. Master printmakers have also made a lot of mistakes in this medium. However, we do not know about them because we only see the final products, and the editions which have gotten spoilt have not reached the museum or reached our eyes. I take inspiration from artists like Vasily Kandinsky, Paul Klee, John Miro, MC Escher, and some other German expressionist artists who have experimented in woodcut art. In some way or the other, I am recreating their style and looking out for hidden effects that they have used in their work. And I'm keeping the spirit of this printmaking technique alive by viewing their paintings and viewing their work. Even if it is the concept of expanding on simple ideas or simple elements, I take inspiration from them and recreate it in my own way. This is how I envision my journey in woodcut printmaking, and hopefully in the future I become more successful in it. My current goal is to make 50 big woodcut prints and take out editions of these prints and store them safely. Another interesting point to consider in these prints is that they have a lot of narratives weaved into it. There can be several interpretations of this, and it's not just the artist's interpretation that counts. It's a collaborative interpretation of the artist and the viewer. So it's always fun to hear what people see in these works. A small point about equality that I'm going to inject over here is that the interpretations of anyone count as an interpretation, and it won't be considered less or more based on their age or the languages they speak or their social status or their financial backing. An interpretation is an interpretation, and the artwork is not going to discriminate towards anyone who sees it. I hope that this bonus episode gave a little bit of context to my main body of content. And I hope you're enjoying this podcast titled A Better Philosophy Towards Art. I'm your host, Tushaar Anand Madhu. Thank you for listening to A Better Philosophy Towards Art podcast. This podcast has been crafted at Manic Pod Studios in Chembur, Mumbai. Your sound engineers are Rohit Das and Mainak Chakraborty. Your producers are Vedant Naik and Arnav Dogra. Don't forget to check out my Instagram page in the description below, and also give Manic Pod a follow for more fun podcasting content. See you in the next episode.